Hi friend, I'm Anna Helman. Thanks so much for being here. Today I want to share with you a technique inspired by my favorite season that you can use on your paper projects all year long. Let's take a look at it. If you follow along, you likely know that my favorite season of the year is fall. And I just love using anything trees, leaves, flowers, all of the nature things I just love to use on my card projects. You know that if you follow along. I'm going to show you today some really cool ideas that you can create with leaves on your cards. Now, let's say you don't have this die set in your collection. What can you do? Friends, go collect some leaves in nature and trace them onto some paper. That is how I got started paper crafting back in the day before fancy tools and before we had money to spend on much at all. I traced things and I cut them out with scissors, okay? So this is what I'm using, but I want to show you some really fun ways you can create beautiful leaves, even if the way you choose to create them is to trace them and cut them out on your own. So here is our first one. Now, foil papers are just kind of amazing, right? So I created this out of some brushed gold paper. And here is what I did. When I cut this out, it was just, they were both just flat with no decoration or detail on them. And I wanted to show you this way that you can score veins in them and make them look really realistic. I'll share with you several techniques for ways to simply make any leaves that you create for your projects, make them look realistic. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a bone folder and I am just going to press on the areas where the leaves come out the furthest. That is where there will be a leaf vein. Now, I don't know if you know this about me. I studied horticulture in college. I'm a total plant geek. And I had to look, I was like, there's different types of leaf veins. This one is called palmate, like your palm, the pattern where they come down to the base. This one is called pinnate. If you aren't quite sure where you should put these veins, just look up a picture. That's what I do anytime, like type in, a picture of a leaf or leaf clip art, and you'll find great examples that you can copy. So how easy was that? I used my piercing mat and my bone folder just to do basically a little hand embossing, add that detail right there. And shortly I will put these cards together. You'll get to see the finished result, and we will have two more to add to this. So that is very easy. The next one, we're going to do a few techniques too. And pull in my examples here. So here is one that we are working towards making a piece that looks just like this. So how did I get this? There you may be able to see there's actually holes in this where the veins would be. So several steps to get this. First, my first idea is to use designer papers. Use something that has that multicolor variation in it. This came from a pack called Autumn Toil. I don't know if you can see there's actually some foxes on here. If you don't look too close, I don't think you would ever notice that, but just that beautiful multicolor variation. If you don't have something like this, or if you want to, you could use blending brushes, or we're going to do another technique here in a minute where I actually put multiple colors on the paper before I started to give it that lifelike look with the different colors. Okay, next, the holes where the veins would be. Now this die set has dies that are optional that you can create those with if you want to. So this piece is separate from the outline. On these, I just used the outline die. I did not use the ones that cut out those holes. On this one, I chose to use the one that cuts out the holes. Now let's say you don't have that. You want to create something like this yourself. Bring back in my piercing mat and a piercing tool, and I'm going to do the same thing, going down where those veins would be. Now, if I was doing this, if I didn't already have this one created, I might create these holes a little bit smaller, but I want them to match somewhat, to look similar to each other. So I'm trying to create a similar effect to what the die created. And here, hopefully you can see those holes in that leaf. So that's my second step. We're going to do a couple more things here. And this is one of my favorite techniques. You've seen it before if you follow along. Crumple up your paper, wad it up, my friends. I hope this doesn't hurt your heart. I love to do this. I just love the effect it creates after we uncrumple it. It's like life. It reminds me of one of my chats at the end of my video I talked about recently how uh, somebody had told me that for a butterfly to fly, its wings have to break. I'm not actually sure if that's true, but when they emerge from the chrysalis, and just think it's a good life lesson for all of us, right? Just think of how much we grow, how much better people we become as we go through hard things in life. Okay, I've got it crumpled, I've got it uncrumpled. Step number 4 is we're going to bring it to life with a blending brush and some ink. So I am actually going to swirl one direction and then the other direction. When you blend opposite directions, different areas may pick up that color. But I love this look with that color on the rough parts. So I have both of my leaves created now. We will finish this card and I'll show you in just a minute. Last but not least, I cut out both of these leaves from plain crumb cake cardstock. I wanted to show you these reverse pieces. I'm not going to use these for today's project, but are you dreaming right now about ways to use these? Oh my gosh, you could blend and use them as stencils. I was thinking, I think it would be really cool to just pop. Sometimes I like to pop up a piece from the same spot or offset it a little bit so you can see that cutout in the background. So many ways you could use these. We could just decorate and stamp these and put that onto a card front. Lots of ways to use these. But here are the pieces I cut from them. Now they look a lot different now, don't they? What I did, I took stamps from this Gathering Moments stamp set and I stamped them repeatedly on here to get that color variation. So I used the large leaf, which is a lot larger than it looks right here. I used that with Granny Apple Green ink. I used this one with Old Olive. I used this one with Mossy Meadow. And I got this really cool pattern on the leaf. Now I wanted to do one more thing to it. I wanted to add veins to it and show you another idea for how to do that. And this is pretty easy with a marker. So you can just draw those veins on. I'll mention again and give a little more detail. So any place that the leaf comes out the furthest, there's going to be a vein that goes there. So anywhere there's a little lump sticking out, I had a vein going to that spot. I wouldn't worry too much about how these are supposed to look because the person you send it to, they don't know. They don't know how it's supposed to look. So anywhere you want to draw those veins is great. They don't have to be straight. This is nature. Nothing is perfect in nature. And yeah, so after I did that, I crumpled this as well on this one. I did not blend over the top with any color, but I did want to crumple it and get that texture effect. So I am going to finish these 3 cards. I will be right back to show them to you. Let's take a look at these finished cards. I used the paper from the Autumn Toil Designer paper pack and the brushed silver and gold foil paper pack. To finish these, I have links in all the video description below as usual. And here we go. So here's the one with the gold foil leaves that I used the bone folder to add that texture to where the veins are. I did add a little bit of this rustic ribbon down here. I thought it was perfect. Here are those lovely leaves with the texture, the crumpling, and the blending over top. I just love how this one turned out. And here I used a piece of that gold foil in the background that I embossed with a really nice leaf embossing folder put those leaves over top with my greeting. Keep in mind you can use these techniques on other elements of your projects as well, such as trees and flowers. So for our chat today, I'd talk a little bit about how fair went. It's been several months since fair was over. I've talked before about 4-H. If you aren't familiar with 4-H, I really encourage you to learn about it in your area. You can contact the Cooperative Extension Service in your county or your local area and learn about it. But it is just an amazing program for kids. Our kids today need to be engaged. They need to be learning skills. They need to be interacting with human beings face to face. There's so many things from this program that it can help kids with. Yes, there are lots of animal projects if that's an option for you or the child in your life. There's lots of other projects for people who don't want to take animal projects or that's not an option for. I thought I'd talk about some of the non-livestock projects that we had at the fair this year. Not me, I'm the helper in this whole thing. But I have wondered, like, is this too many projects? Do I need to create a limit? Do I need to say no? And the learning all the skills that comes with this. Um, I'm a stay-at-home contributing to the family human here, and I'm looking at I'm like, these are skills that can bring in income for a stay-at-home mom. Like, I haven't come up with reasons yet to cut off the projects. I did say no new projects next year, no more than we're doing now. But anyway, so some of the projects that the 11-year-old had at the fair: sewing. She made a fleece pajama set, two-piece. Turned out really cute with bees and this like pullover hoodie thing with a little pocket on the front and a little tie string around the waist. Oh, and there was so rules are different from state to state and from county to county. We can do a wearable sewing project and a non-wearable. So there was a blanket that coordinate with GMEs for the non-wearable. Cute, right? Photography, great skill. I love to take photos. I used to, in my younger years when I had more free time, I used to do more of this. But photography is a great skill for kids to have. So we had photo boards of 10 photos at the fair. Several of these projects got to go to the state fair, which was pretty cool. We got to go to the state fair in Indianapolis to see the projects on display. You should check out your state fair and see if your state fair has all the kids' projects on display that qualified to go. The time and the effort and the amazing skills that go into these things these kids are doing, it's amazing. It's so much fun to go see them. Cake decorating, my absolute favorite project to look at any fair, anywhere. I don't care if kids made them or grown-ups made them. Decorated cakes. So fun. This was the first year that our cake got to go. I say our, I did not do this cake. I just am not using my child's name because that's the way I roll. Uh, so the cake got to go for the first time. That was a big deal. That was a big deal. Cake decorating, stiff competition, friends. We have a scrapbooking project in our county. We have a gift wrap project in our county. Those are crafty, papery things. And the interest in these things does not stop with the generation you're looking at. So anyway, she did those. Insect collection. I did not know much about insects until we started this collection. The teacher has to learn to teach. When I was a high school teacher, especially my first, second, third years, I had to teach myself every day to be able to teach those kids the next day. I did not know all the things I had to teach. I had to teach myself. Same thing for 4-H. I've learned a whole lot about insects. Floriculture, gardening, or floriculture projects. Some of them are cut flower arrangements. Some of them are like potted plants or planters with multiple plants in them. Gardening has been a fun project. I love to see the interest in what's in the garden today, or oh my gosh, I'm going to pick this giant watermelon that I can't even pick up. I'm going to go get a sled. I'm going to pick up the giant watermelon and roll it into the sled. And sled it to the house. Like, get your kids interested, kids, grandkids, neighbor kids, whoever you get to influence, uh, help get them interested in these things. Woodworking. Do you know what a tree bookshelf is? We made this tree bookshelf that has these angled shelves. I had never seen one of these. Well, I've seen them before, but I would have never thought about it. That was the request. I want to make a tree bookshelf, so we figured it out. Turned out really cool. Crafts. There's lots of things that relate to what we're doing here in your interests, I imagine, if you're watching my videos. But I really encourage you, think about if there is a child in your life that you could offer to help get involved in this and help them learn some skills. Thanks so much for being here, friends. I appreciate you. I hope you have a blessed day. And I hope you will be back again next time when I'll be here helping you to handmake with love.